riddled by literally millions of games and ever-rising game prices, quality gaming on a budget can seem almost impossible. Welcome to the Nexus Roundtable, where we show that not only can you game on a budget, but you can also enjoy quality gaming. Stay tuned as we analyze today's game based on these 5 criteria: arts and graphics, game controls, gameplay, ingenuity, and overall rating. When we're done, we'll let you know whether we consider it a stud or a dud. But before we get to the review, we will do some introductions, talk about the streaming updates, and let you know what's what in the world of gaming news.
Karsa, KKWX. Karsa is my name, KKWX is my empire. We are here to steal your cookies. Now, actually, we are here to play SnowRunner with Tenable Target and Navarone. This is being done under the pretense of being Nexus
a professional
round table and Tenable Target. Yes, hopefully a professional stream.
I think I got away with that.
Yes. So a Nexus roundtable, where we we check out games and then we review them. This review is going to be for SnowRunner today. We're not reviewing yet, but we are going to be playing some of it and then talking about the review as we go. Tenable Target is our guest for today, Navarone, and Bales will not be here. Also, Bullheld will not be here today, but Navarone is here with me. So we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna play a little SnowRunner. We're probably gonna be having me run off the road, and yeah, let's get started.
Some of them have some pretty funky paint schemes available. So, just for the benefit of my stream, let's go and find the Land Rover.
Rocks are now moved, so we now have the main route up the Smithville Dam
Cleared.
Yeah, it's basically done.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I'm gonna probably stick with this.
Karsa has picked her colour.
It's gonna be blue. What do you expect from me?
I was not surprised in the slightest.
Oh, that's weak sauce. You're supposed to go with neon green.
Don't
Hey,
tempt
if you,
me.
yeah, I mean, you should have seen the colour I was just contemplating for the Land Rover.
Orange.
Well, no, that's what I've gone with. But one of its custom paint schemes. Have you got my stream up, Nav?
No, I don't.
I don't right now.
It is.
I can bring it up though.
It's 4 different shades of lime green.
Oh my god, computer, stop lagging.
Yeah, it's an interesting paint scheme on the Land Rover.
Let's see your interesting.
Oh wow! Oh, that's absolutely diabolical and terrible.
Yeah, you
How
wouldn't lose
dare
it,
you.
would you?
No, not that.
Oh no! I need to change the. There we go.
Yeah, only a slightly green Land Rover.
Yeah. Alright.
Oh my god! Right.
You're right there, Nav.
Your music. Click on that. Delete that stuff.
Okay, now I got you all up.
Delete that. Click there.
You having fun then, Nav?
It's just it's easier for me to get this up as 2 separate streams right now.
Yep. Funny you mention it, but that is how I've got yours and Karsa's streams going at the minute. I've got 2 separate devices sitting here.
That is actually quite a nice a nice setup. I'd totally use that. It just
It's
needs to
very,
be more eye gouging.
yeah, it's very green, isn't it?
It's
I mean, it
definitely
could be
green.
more green.
It could be, but I'm pretty sure someone just went, "I'd like green." How much? Yes.
Right. I have my car. I have my truck now,
Right, back to my normal colour.
and let's see
Ah.
here.
Nah,
Right,
I'm
guys,
gonna
so
put this.
let's-
Oh wow! Right.
Alright, guys, we still haven't gone in our review. So, star or no star for arts and graphics? Thank you.
You on your wheels? Yes, you are. Good. Oh, this side of that just caked.
Yep.
Star or no star for arts and graphics, guys? Thank you so much.
I mean, generally, like for me, it would get it definitely.
Okay?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you guys rate this, but it's
That's how-
definitely what I would call a pretty game.
Well, you can give it a half if you want.
So yeah,
Well,
I
the general thing is like it's ugly in ways that it needs to be in terms
Yeah.
of things like when you
Oh,
cake
it's-
your truck in mud.
Yeah.
It looks
Yes.
disgusting and it's realistic.
It's
it's
very.
meant to be. It's a fantastic use and slight abuse of Havoc's physics engine.
I had a
Yes.
feeling it was Havoc as well.
Yep.
It's like there's just something about the way the physics work. You can kind of tell what engine it is.
Now, how do
Yeah.
you know that it's Havoc?
It says
Because
it in the
once you've
titles when you
played-
load it.
Yeah, and also if you haven't noticed that, because I never really noticed that, but I have played a lot of games that used Havoc physics. There is
Yep.
a faint difference between how a game using Havoc feels, and I'm talking about like the kinesthetic feel of the game
Yeah.
versus
Entertainingly,
something else that uses like bullet physics, for instance,
yeah. Entertainingly,
and that is the name of another physics engine.
yeah. This is the same physics engine as Generation Zero that we were playing on Wednesday.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Well, yeah, because Avalanche have used Havoc in like everything.
Yeah. So it's tried and tested game
It
code,
seems
basically.
very real, so yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Alright. So everybody gets a star. Yay. So 3 stars.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have
Rear-ended
controls.
Carter.
Controls.
I mean,
For-
I don't use the default control mapping. I use their B set control mapping. But you want to turn right, Carter? But that is because the B control mapping is exactly the same control setup on the previous game, Mud Runner. So I have like 1,000 hours of Mud Runner muscle memory. So I find the controls really fine because, you know, it's the same control set I've been using for 2 games now.
Right.
I will say the keyboard controls I've heard are very clunky. I've not experienced them personally, but
Well, I
it's
did for
definitely-
this reason, so
Yeah,
okay, we're
it's-
here.
Yep, so
I
you
have
need to
played a
grab that
little
mission.
bit of this via the keyboard controls, and you can tell this was clearly designed with analog control in mind versus digital.
Yeah.
We are doing this one.
I would recommend doing it because it opens quite a nice shortcut.
Okay.
So, what do we need? Right, we now need to get trucks, so we'll want to recover these just for simplicity. Because we're going to need to pick up concrete blocks from somewhere and metal beams from somewhere.
Okay.
And everything but the very first watchtower that Carson didn't unlock.
Wait, what?
He didn't unlock the first watchtower.
didn't? I thought I did.
No.
Oops. Alright, we'll recover.
Yep.
And then we're gonna switch.
Mhm.
Alright, so controls, well, other than trial and error of trying to figure out what we needed for winches, it made sense. So I have a fleet, I have a Chevrolet.
You want something with a flatbed.
Well, I got
you want
the
a proper
fleet and I got
truck
the
with
GMC.
I would, to be honest, Castle, with the trucks you've got available at the minute, the Fleet Star is the one you want to be using.
So this one.
Because it's got the all-wheel drive, it's got the diff lock.
So we will use this one.
That would be my suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you do some work, there's not much early game that can keep up with the Fleet Star.
Now let me get out of the area so that you don't run into me.
Appreciated. The other thing you can do, which people on my stream will be able to see because I'm in the process of doing it, is things like the frame add-ons. You can actually switch between trucks. So I've just switched the sideboard bed from my highway truck that I'm not really going to be using onto my Kodiak C70, which I would be using a bit more once I get some more upgrades for it.
You can switch trucks.
Yeah, you can switch parts between trucks.
Okay.
So you don't have to buy every truck its own flatbed. You can just buy a couple of flatbeds and switch them around.
Okay, where do we need to go?
You're alright,
Come on, you
Casa.
piece of junk.
Yeah, I'm
Cool.
I
Just making
hate-
sure.
Come on.
Okay, there is one thing about this game that I do dislike that definitely goes under gameplay.
Yeah?
In single player, you can skip time so that if you want to, you can skip from nighttime to daytime. So you can see what the heck you're doing. You cannot do it in multiplayer for some arbitrary reason.
Okay.
That to me is an annoyance. However, I will give the devs some credit because the next update, which is out this month, they are giving everybody a new game mode called New Game Plus, which will allow you to set it to always night, always day, or longer days, shorter nights, or however you want to do it.
I would have to do it in day.
Yeah. Is your all-wheel drive on, Casa?
No. I don't see any four-wheel drive.
Is it greyed out?
Yeah.
Ah, that's an upgrade you can fit to that truck that you have because it was the one outside the garage. You may want to recover back and fit that. It'll make your life a lot easier.
Yeah. Alright, we'll recover.
So you recover back.
Customize. That would be under the AW?
Yeah. It'll be down the bottom there. You should have... RWD means rear-wheel drive only.
But
AWD
it just doesn't
is...
say that it's installed.
It'll tick whichever one is installed.
It is now installed.
Excellent, because it makes that truck so much better.
Okay. Leave the garage. Alright. Controls. Star, no star. Each of you.
I mean, I will say star, but as I said, I am biased because this is the same control scheme I've been using for the previous game in this series as well. So, I am incredibly familiar with it.
Star or no star for you? Nav.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, for me, it's a half star.
That's
But
fair.
then you're playing on keyboard right now.
Yep,
We are both on controller.
but it allows for us to know what is the difference
Yep.
between controller and keyboard, so...
Yeah, completely fair. As a note to everyone watching, yes, controller. Definitely controller game.
Yeah. Okay, next, where you went into gameplay. Task, it seems very task-oriented.
It is incredibly task orientated, but I mean, it's a driving game about delivering stuff. I don't know how they do it without that.
Right. So, anything else about it that we need to know? Like, it does have a small story that goes with it.
Yep.
For each area,
Um,
I'm guessing?
Yeah, each area is basically a different natural disaster. Oh, and I have just been kicked.
You were kicked.
Yep.
Do I need to try to bring you back, or can you...
You will probably need to... This is where we have fun. You will need to DM me on Discord the code, because you do not want that publicly available on stream.
How do I do that?
Except it will be visible, so you know what, I'll do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
fine. Choose what save game you bring into a co-op multiplayer. So that one that I was playing on was a brand new save, because I started a new one deliberately to remind myself what the early game felt like. I'm now bringing in my max level all of the toys save.
Okay,
Just so that I can show you what some of the late game stuff looks like.
nice. Well, that is helpful.
What I will also say as someone that's played this extensively multiplayer and single player, this game is 1,000 times better with friends.
Okay, that's
When you
good
are
to
just
know.
trucking around... Nope. I cannot connect to your client.
Let me see if I can invite you.
I'll give it one more try, because I've still got the code from Nav. But yeah, it just said couldn't connect to client. Right. But this is bringing me to something else that I was going to mention, and I don't know if Nav has heard of this nickname for SnowRunner. There are some people that refer to it as Disconnect Simulator, because
Ah.
I got some party invites from you, Casa.
Yeah, that's... Well, invite game is not coming up.
No. Right, it's trying again, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Nav, I don't know if you've heard of the people that have had massive
No.
issues with connections. One of the people that I watched that streams, or tried to stream this, literally gave up on a streaming series because if they tried to connect a fourth player, it disconnected one of the other players. Potentially including the host.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Which
but yeah,
means
so
everybody
it does
ends up getting kicked.
kicked. Yep, and they start all over
Because-
again.
I'm starting to wonder.
That's alright, it's trying. Nope, it is not happy. Right, let me shut SnowRunner all the way down. Go back
Okay.
in. But yeah, this is
That
a
may be
known.
how I can get you in.
I've shut mine all the way down, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's it has its gremlins. They are 1,000 times better than they were 6 months ago, and they are still addressing them. But yeah, it does have some issues with crossplay and multiplayer. think it's fair to say. Right.
Okay, do you want me to try? We have talked about display controls, gameplay, star or no star. We did not come up with that. Gameplay, I think, is pretty good.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, Nav?
I mean, it's a simple thing that, you know, it does what it sets out to do.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're not frightened to add new gameplay mechanics in. So, partway through, they added the log delivery and collection mechanic, because that wasn't actually in the base game originally. And they didn't just add it as it's part of this DLC, it doesn't exist anywhere else. They added it as a DLC and then retrospectively added it to some of the older maps as well as a free thing. The DLC that's coming in this month, keep forgetting it's October already, is adding farming to the game as a mechanic. And it's adding
Farming?
tractors.
Oh,
Yeah, literally
okay.
you plough, seed and harvest and then drive the produce to market.
Oh, okay. That sounds interesting. Alright,
Yeah.
so, star for all of that. Let's go
Yep.
on to the next, ingenuity.
I mean, other than the two predecessor games in the series, I don't know any other games that do this sort of thing, really.
Yeah, there's not really anything else that actually does this style.
I would
of,
know
Close-
this.
of,
This
like,
is the
truck
closest
game.
thing I've gotten to actually driving and doing stuff like this.
Yeah,
So,
the closest I
Well,
can
I mean,
think of
considering,
is Euro
like-
Truck.
Yeah, probably the closest would be Euro Truck Simulator 2. But considering what I just did in game, which was pick up 2 pieces of cargo from this trailer, put one in mine, and then put one into Carsa's.
Yep.
Like, that's something you cannot do in stuff like Euro Truck. Like, the closest with that would be like, oh, I'm going to disconnect this trailer, you can take it now, if you're playing in the multiplayer mod.
okay,
Mhm.
so now I can detach the trailer.
Yeah, detach the trailer, and then also you want to pack cargo, just so it's not sliding about in your truck. There you go.
Right, we are detached.
Just because it'll be so much easier moving one piece with that truck. Because you also appear to have road tires. I just bonked
Yep,
the tree.
it's got highway 42 inches as standard,
Oh
that fleet
my
style.
god, are we
Yeah.
going to go?
Because you can't unlock all terrains until level 6.
What the heck? Can we move? Oh, close functions, that would be why.
That would do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You may have problems on some of the muddy sections along here.
Yeah.
But it's alright, if need be I'll drag you out, because I've got mud tires on mine.
Cool. I really would love some mud tires. But cool.
They're very handy. Well, I mean,
Muds
the simple
are
thing is,
awesome.
I put enough time into this game that I'm like now level 8, so
I just made it to level 3.
yeah.
Yep.
That is the one thing in terms of the gameplay I would actually mark this a slight bit down, but it's like one of those, you know, it gets like 0.99 out of 1.
Yeah,
You know,
I
it gets
get what you mean.
99 out of 100 because of that. Just the arbitrary unlocking of mud tires.
Which they've addressed in Game Mode Plus. It's coming. So I agree with you.
Yeah,
it's a
but at
problem now.
the same time,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
shouldn't. It
it
is
should-
arbitrary.
It's actually, yeah.
yeah, because I mean, Carter will probably remember this. We had a discussion when we were playing with Hellhound. But I was saying, like, I don't have a driver's license. I don't even have a learner's permit or any of that junk. And yet I can walk in with a handful of cash to a garage, slap it on the table, point at a set of mud tires and say, I want those tires.
Yep.
And then I get to walk out with those tires.
Yep. No, I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah, it's the one thing that does annoy me.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I don't even care if they made it so that, you know, you get the baby's first off-road tire and make it 10 grand and they give you like 5% extra traction. It just give me mud tires that I can buy.
Yep.
Right off the bat, first thing.
Yeah.
Give it
But
to us.
it's such a tiny thing that I wouldn't actually detract. I wouldn't give it traction because our arbitrary scoring system is not conducive to arbitrary detractions for minuscule things like that.
Makes sense.
You can
But
tell
I'm
the
very
difference
confident.
between the control and the keyboard, though, can't you? Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's so much easier with the keyboard. With the
Controller.
With the controller, yeah. Just because this was clearly designed for
Analog
for
input.
use with
Come on,
with
stop,
a controller.
stop.
I will say, and this is not from personal experience, this is from watching someone using it, this game really does like a steering wheel and pedals.
Yeah.
It's one of the few games I know that actually supports and is happy with steering wheel and pedals on console that isn't a dedicated racing game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of those things, if I was to play this for like hundreds of hours, it's definitely one of the games I would consider investing in a proper steering wheel for.
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't
so
think I haven't thought it.
we are at the last category, and it's 3:30 now.
Yep.
Overall gameplay. Overall. Would you play it again? Over and over again? Or just...
I mean, I have, so...
You have, so I know you like it.
Yeah,
And
in
overall,
terms of
you would recommend it to someone else.
You are the 6th person I've got to download and play the game, Carter, so...
The answer is yes. So star for you. What about you, Nav?
well, I mean, I was literally going to say, like, do you even really need to ask him, considering the amount of time he's got in the game?
Right, I'm
Yep.
asking you now.
But yeah, in terms of this kind of game, this is one of those sort of you could either actively play it and I'm going to be like an epic truck driver, or I'm just going to turn my brain off and deliver some cargo.
Yep.
So this is that kind of game, and that's the kind of game you like. Sometimes I've seen
It
you
can
like
be.
those times.
Yeah, because there's every now and then
Just-
it is great to just have something you can stop actively thinking about and just play it.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I'm the kind of person who put 300 plus hours into Crackdown for the 360 because I enjoyed jumping around buildings at high speed.
I
I-
can respect that.
Would play this again, even though I'm very bad at driving. I would play it again because it is very much of a simulator, and maybe in the long run it could help me with understanding some things. I mean, I know what happens in Michigan. I know that Michigan has a lot of rain because of the lake effect.
Yep.
It has a lot of flooding in some areas because of the lake effect. This is very common. This looks like Michigan in all sense and purposes, and even acts like Michigan in some of the roads, especially Taper Road. Taper Hill is extremely windy like this, and extremely has gravel road. It is literally a gravel road.
Yep.
So would this be like Taper Hill? Absolutely. Would I play it again? Yes, I would. Would I play it at night? Probably not. I probably would turn on the daytime if I could.
Yep.
just so I could see, because I do have some night blindness, and that's
Yeah.
the kind of thing. And plus, actually, in some respects, even though I don't have epilepsy, I am prone to those bright lights. So
Mhm.
that's kind of where I stand on that. So yes, I would play it. So that would give me another 3. That would give us a total of 14.5 out of 15.
Are you gonna have for the controls for the keyboard?
Yes.
Alright. Yeah, that's fair.
That seems fair.
I am not giving it a full, because I literally am traveling every situation. I have to be in the center just so I don't fall off.
Oh no, that's just driving in SnowRunner.
Well, the driving is definitely, yeah.
The driving is the challenge.
The driving is definitely the challenge.
I mean,
And
this is
it's
basically
even more a challenge with
Yeah.
a keyboard.
Yeah, because I suppose you've only got on-off input for your steering. Because I'm guessing it's on WSAD.
Yes.
Yeah, so you've literally only got on-off for steering, rather than what we've got on controller, where we've got the subtleties of the analog stick.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
So,
That's kind of the reason why I feel like I'm traveling every which way.
yeah,
But I'm not too bad. It's just I end up
Yeah.
stuck in the mud a lot more than you guys do. And that might be because of either experience or because of, all intents and purposes, the fact that I just don't have the upgrades.
possibly, but I mean, I was using stock trucks as well, so
Yeah, so. Alright, so where are we going now?
I'm just taking a little drive on WSD.
Well, you're-
okay.
Okay. Well, now it's telling us to go to the King of the Hill and visit the peaks and all that kind of stuff.
Nah, you don't want to do that.
Nope. I don't want to do that either. Ah!
What did you do?
You don't want to know.
I'm gonna guess upside down castle.
No. 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 Dag, burn it!
Meanwhile, the physics is like, yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, this game really is physics engine simulator.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it hates me.
See, playing the physics on a game like this is almost like playing the physics on Kerbal Space Program.
Oh, you got the winch.
Drive forward, bring it forward.
I am do so.
Let's see if I can haul you to the side.
Yeah.
Alright, straighten up. Alright, there you go.
Okay.
But yeah, like for those on my stream that maybe don't understand why we're making a point about analog versus digital, it's because Carsa playing on a computer right now with the keyboard can't do this.
No, I can't actually.
Yeah.
It will not stop like that. I'll end up being like having double the back speed that you do.
Yep.
Like literally the speed I'm moving at right now, Carsa can.
Nope.
Just because the keyboard will not allow
Yeah.
for this kind of minute control.
And that's part of the reason I was getting, when I was in an identical truck to Casa in an identical place and I wasn't getting stuck, it's because I can feather the throttle and Sometimes in this
Yeah.
game you genuinely need to control wheel spin like you would in a real vehicle by giving it less and less throttle until you find a grip point.
Right.
And you just can't do that if you've just effectively got an on-off switch for your throttle.
See, that's where this is actually a driving game I think would benefit from the controls of something like Arma. Where in Arma 3 they have a very interesting little detail with crouching.
Right.
You can like hold control to do your crouch, but you have levels of crouching.
Okay. Yeah, I can see
Where-
that.
New
Yeah, you
objective
can-
discovered.
Yeah, there's a missing fuel tanker in this place.
Oh. Alright, cool.
It's in a bad place.
But I can
It
go
kind of sucks.
here and get
Yeah.
a fuel.
Exactly. So yeah, in Armor 3, you can literally go from like standing to ducking your head slightly, to leaning down, to kneeling, to crawling, to basically bending yourself in half like that one dude in Men in Black, to then actually lying down.
Okay.
There's like 8 levels of crouching between like actually lying down, going full prone, and standing upright.
Okay.
There are also, I'm pretty sure, the same amount of steps that you can change between via running. You can go
Right.
from, walking slowly, like literally no sound,
Yep.
all the way up through the stages to outright sprinting, where you ain't going to be aiming for shit if you pull the trigger.
Yep. Makes sense.
And this kind of thing feels like it could really do with that style control system for the vehicles.
Mm.
Like, for instance, sometimes you may need to make very small adjustments with your steering. So something like, Blender does this. If you need to make a small adjustment to a slider, you can hold shift when you click and drag, and you'll go through the same motion, but the speed on the slider will be drastically reduced.
Yep. Makes sense.
So with a 14.5 out of 15 or 4.5 out of 5
That puts it firmly in the top 34
percent of
games.
our yeah.
Yeah, it's like the top 10 or something for like.
So far,
Score-wise.
it would be the top 4th. It would be 4th on our list.
So it'd like be technically tied for second place with like 3 other things.
No. It would be 4th place because there are 3 there that had full
Full marks.
and this
right.
one has just slightly under, so it's 4th place.
That seems reasonable. I mean,
Which is quite legit because of that thing. You are at a detriment if you are playing on keyboard and mouse.
Yep,
Yes.
you really are.
I mean, even something as simple as like Euro Truck has a control setup which they advise if you don't have a wheel or a controller, and that's one where you actually use the mouse to steer.
yeah, I can
So
see
you
that.
have very tight control over how much you move the mouse.
Yeah.
Relates to how much you're turning the wheel.
Carter, I wonder if that's actually an option that you've got, because they do have multiple controller setups.
I don't know
Let
if
me
they do.
check if they do. I mean,
'Cause if they do, that
settings.
really does solve that
At
problem.
my settings.
Yeah, it would be in settings under your controls.
Okay, well, it would be nice if I could get. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it says settings controller, and then there's a control scheme layout.
I mean, technically, I believe you can set whatever you want as your
Well, the controller has a bunch of schemes.
Well, yeah. I
The
mean,
controls on mine does not.
okay. I mean, you can tell how dedicated it is that it has its own steering wheel control setting.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm actually just looking on that right now for if there's a way that you could.
And you have
Like,
all of the
emulate it.
controls. Yeah.
I don't believe you can emulate mouse to.
No.
Not. There's.
No, you would need to go through a separate program.
Yeah, it's basic. It's for and this is why I really do say that if you can have a controller,
Have
probably
it.
should get one.
Yep.
I did try it single player, and I did have some problems, but we know that was going to happen anyway, right?
Yeah.
It does, at least though, it has the functions you need. It needs that little extra tweak, I guess,
Yep.
and it doesn't have that. So, all in all, it is a good game. It's recommended if for those who love driving or learning how to drive or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what everyone else's real world driving experience is, but I would say I am relatively familiar with off-road driving.
I used to drive a truck like the one I have now on here.
Right.
For some of the construction work we had to do, we were given a basic truck and we did have to learn it. Other than that, it's been so long, I can't say whether or not I would be good at it again. And plus, my night blindness does cause an issue.
That's definitely an issue, yeah.
And
but I
in
don't
this
know
game,
where Nav
with it
sits on the
being
scale.
night, it's really bad. So I will definitely play this only in day if I can.
Yeah, but no, the point I was getting to is, you know, I have driven off-road a lot. I have driven a variety of small to large vehicles off-road. And as close as you can get with a game, they've pretty much nailed it.
Yeah, I would say they still nailed it, even with the truck that I did drive. And, but that was 20 years ago that I picked up a license like that.
Yeah.
So, but it still nailed it.
I mean, mine is a lot more recent than that.
Yeah, I mean, you're still working, so.
Yes.
But
I'm also still doing silly things like being a reenactor.
yeah.
And when I am, for those that aren't aware, I do Viking era reenactment. However,
actually, Tenable, as you were talking about this, you are currently only a guest. So why don't you talk a little bit about your stream and about yourself?
There's not much to say on the stream side of things, but yeah, where I was going is, yeah, I'm a reenactor, and that means that I also speak to other reenactors, and occasionally we get to do a multi-time period event where we go and borrow tanks and things like that and have a go at driving them.
Nice.
So
that's actually pretty cool.
So I would say that there are some similarities to where we have, how shall I put it, borrowed the Vietnam era 3.5 ton lorries and things like that, and gone driving around the woods in them. It's got the right sort of weight to the steering of, if you steer one of these trucks and start going a direction, it's going to want to keep going that direction.
Right. I'm about to close out, just so you know. Are you ready, Nav?
Oh yeah, Nav will want to get back to the garage and store his trucks.
Yeah, that's what I just did, I think.
Did
I just store it? I think I stored it.
Yeah, this is one of the few known bugs in the game, is like 1 in 20 times, if you're in a multiplayer session and the host either shuts the game down or crashes while you've got trucks on the map, you will sometimes lose a truck.
Well,
But it is so rare now they've patched it. It's
do I
probably
hit?
not worth mentioning, but paranoia now has me mentioning it as much as possible.
Yeah, it needs to
Just
be mentioned. That's probably another thing that I would say kind of is an issue with the game, is it still has. Oh shoot! I wanted to get back in. Oh. Can I go back to the garage? I want to go back to the garage.
Oh, my
you
game's
either need to
decided
drive
to
around the
lock up.
building. Ah, lovely. You either need to drive around the building, Castle, or just hit recover.
Hit recover.
That'll get you back to the garage.
And now I can
Oh
start
no, my
it.
game's just outright crashed. Oh well.
Oh, lovely. What I would say
I
is
didn't leave.
No, considering the amount of changes they are making in the update this month,
Now I'm
it
leaving.
might be worth a revisit.